A Pennsylvania native who completed her bachelor's degree in 2009 in speech and hearing science here at GW, Janean Wilson is a candidate for a master's degree in speech-language pathology. As a part of her externship, Janean has provided speech and language therapy at the Stroke Comeback Center in Vienna, Virginia, a rehabilitation center for survivors of stroke and traumatic brain injury. She's also been working with elementary school students in the DC public schools who have a variety of speech and language disorders. After graduation, Janean will be employed at the Children's National Medical Center, working with kids in the area of cochlear implants. Janean will also be a part of the leadership in the education of neurodevelopmental disorders program at Children's Hospital. Janean.
If you could be a fly on the wall in my apartment, you'd most likely find me in one of two places. Either making dinner while watching Jeopardy in the kitchen, or studying at my messy, messy, messy desk. For the past 2 years, I, along with 27 phenomenal women and one courageous man, have been nestled at the corners of 21st and G Streets, learning how to become bomb speech pathologists. Think Lionel from the King's Speech, except now we have credentials. In order to obtain these credentials, though, we, like the rest of the graduates in here, had to study. I study best at my desk, and recently I had to explain that my desk is a bit cluttered because as my corpus of knowledge grows, so do my books. Yeah, my books physically seem to expand as I reference them over and over again. Each time I open one, not only might I stuff old study guides or lecture slides or ripped out magazine recipes into the binding, but I also leave my thoughts and experiences and doubts from my time here at GW. It's almost like slightly younger, slightly less experienced pieces of myself lie between the pages waiting to be rediscovered. Each time I come across these experiences as a more educated and matured me, I smile. When I open to chapter 11 of one of my textbooks entitled Introduction to Neurogenic Communication Disorders by Robert Brookshire, I find the fears and the self-doubts I encountered when I first realized that I was going to work with a 32-year-old man who 6 years earlier had gotten a bullet through the bulk of his brain. How was I supposed to even start to help this man? All I wanted to do was help, but I felt like I didn't even know how to try. Tucked away in the pages of this chapter was writing by Edgar Guest that I printed out a few days before our first therapy session. At the time, I probably thought the writing was going to serve as some sort of therapy tool for him, but it ended up being therapy for me. It got me thinking, and it got me started. And here's an excerpt of what it says. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he'd be the one who wouldn't say so until he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Thousands will tell you it cannot be done, and thousands might prophesy failure. Thousands might point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in it with a bit of a grin, just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that couldn't be done, and you'll do it. Now, if you're wearing a cap and a gown in this room, you too have done it. We may not have thousands of telling us that we can't, but it doesn't always take that many. It's not always someone else's doubts, but it's our own. Sometimes we just have to go and prove ourselves wrong, and we probably do it more often than you think. For example, how about the doubts of being able to finish a midterm paper and the sacrifice of pulling a second all-nighter at Gowman to get it done? Or staying awake through an 8 a.m. lecture after maybe too long of a night at McFadden's, or living at the clinic while studying for comps or working to complete your master's thesis. For all of these doubts that run through our heads, sometimes we just have to prove ourselves wrong. Just as we can be our own biggest critics, we ought to be our own biggest fans. I mean, think about it. We have just accomplished something that not many people have done. According to a 2010 study, 6.7% of the world's population has a college degree, 6.7%. And those of us with a graduate degree, even less. This is our accomplishment. It's our freedom. We have the freedom to choose and to speak and to communicate and to get things done. David Foster Wallace described this academic freedom best when he said, "The really important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline and effort and being able to truly care about other people and to sacrifice for them every single day, over and over, in a myriad of petty little unsexy ways. That is being educated and knowing how to think. The alternative is unconsciousness, the default setting, the rat race, the constant gnawing sense of having had and lost some infinite thing. But we, as graduates of the George Washington University, won't have any part to do with an alternative to our academic freedom. We will use our freedom as it was intended. We will climb and climb and climb, and when we can climb no more, we will bear down and become a step. The rat race, the default setting, it's not for us. Use this graduation weekend to think of your moments here at GW, from the feeling of getting back that A that you worked so hard for, or just silly times just kicking back with friends, or late nights at Starbucks, or crazy cold mornings in your departmental student room when it's 32 degrees outside and the air conditioning is blowing and you have to study your cranial nerves and all you want to do is go home and sleep. Think of everything you've done here as a stepping stone and a building block to where you want to be. We've learned from the best, and now we can become the best. The best artists and chemists and anthropologists and molecular biologists and geologists and art therapists and archaeologists and speech-language pathologists and biostatisticians and epidemiologists and all the other ists that are in this room that are about to take the world by storm. As I'm sure a copy of this speech will make it into one of the books on my desk, I'll leave you with some more words from Mr. Guest. Hopefully, I'll find it later down the road when I'm in need of some therapy. The future. The worst is yet to come, so wail the doubters glum. But here's a better view. My best I have yet to do. The worst some always fear, that tomorrow holds no cheer. But later down life's lane are joys we shall attain. So go forward bravely then, and play your part as women and men. For this is ever true, our best we have yet to do. Congratulations, class of 2000.
Yeah, Janean!
Each spring, faculty nominate an exceptional undergraduate